want to work on your left hand? You've come to the right place. Welcome in, ladies and gents. It's your old pal Cole here, and today I want to take you through 4 of my favorite exercises to get my left hand coordinated on this instrument right here. Now, over the years, I've worked with a lot of drummers that are new to playing jazz, and for most of them, putting their left hand anywhere other than beats 2 and 4 can prove to be somewhat challenging. And over those years, I've also picked up a few helpful tips and exercises from some of my drumming mentors out there as I've dove deep down the rabbit holes of YouTube and other resources that we have at our disposal today. And so these are 4 exercises that I've cataloged and kind of maybe repurposed a little bit to work not only for my students that are beginners, but just to work for myself and maintaining my left hand and helping it become more coordinated. These exercises work for anyone, regardless of your skill level or however long you've been playing this instrument here, because playing the drum set requires coordination, and that's what these 4 exercises are designed to do, to improve our coordination. So are you ready? Let's get into it. Exercise number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is called single left-hand permutations. It's a simple one, but it's not easy. Simple in the fact that it's not overly complex, but, mind you, it still takes some practice, some patience, and a whole lot of intention to make it flow. So whether you're a complete beginner to playing a swing feel on the drums, or you're just wanting to work out your left hand, this is a great exercise. And here's how it's going to work. First, I need to make sure I can play what I like to call our basic swing ostinato, right? That consisting of ding, ding, a ding on the ride cymbal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 and 4 on my hi-hats, and then feathered quarter notes down here on the bass drum real quickly, just to establish our bass line. That would sound something like this. Right? Now, left-hand single permutations, what we're going to do is we're going to add a single quarter note in each measure with our left hand, starting on beat 1. Right off the bat. That's kind of a weird place to put your left hand, right? But that's the whole idea. We want to get comfortable putting our left hand virtually anywhere. So I'm going to play a quarter note on beat 1 for 2 measures on top of that swing ostinato. Then I'm going to shift that quarter note over an 8th note to the end of beat 1. I'm going to play that for 2 measures. Then I'm going to shift it over to beat 2 for 2 measures. Then the and of 2 for 2 measures, and so on and so forth, till I've played my left hand on every possible 8th note value, swung 8th note value, in a measure of 4/4 time. Now, I'll play through the whole thing, and I will also provide the drum transcription across the top of your screen here, so I encourage you to follow along with that if you feel so inclined. And we're going to play this at a nice, comfortable 100 BPM. That might sound kind of fast, but for swing, it's pretty chill. Now, I encourage you, if this is new for you, maybe start a little bit slower. But also, as you get more comfortable with this, try it at a whole different variety of tempos, because we've got a really big tempo range when we're playing swing in the jazz genre, if you will, right? Okay, here we go. right, our next exercise is called left hand double permutations. Now this one gets us used to playing 2 notes with our left hand, as the name implies. In this case, they are swung 1/8 notes, right? Because sometimes we have to play more than 1 note when we're comping on our snare drum. So just like the last exercise, I'm going to start this one on beat 1. In this case, though, I'm playing 1 1 I'm going to do it for 2 measures. Then I'm going to shift it over an 1/8 note, right? So I'm going to have then 1 2 1 2, right? I'm going to shift it over. And when anytime you're playing swung 1/8 notes, I shouldn't say anytime, but many times when you're playing swung 1/8 notes in jazz, you want to lean into the second 1/8 note of each pair. That's what gives it the swingy feel, right? So that's what we're going to try to do here with this one. So we're adding an extra element of touch and nuance with our left hand. In addition to just coordination, we're kind of adding an extra element now of touch and bringing out that second note of each pair, right? So, going to shift it over an 1/8 note. I'm going to play 2 measures of each repetition, and once again, I'll have the transcription running across the top of the screen here. So I encourage you, please follow along with that if you feel so inclined. Here is left hand double permutations. By the way, we're going to keep this at 100 BPM for the purposes of this demonstration. Similar to the last one, I encourage you to try this at a whole array of different tempos. Here we go. The third exercise is called Houghton Triplets. And it's called that because I first saw the great drummer and educator Steve Houghton demonstrate this in a drum clinic. And the objective with this exercise isn't so much per se coordinating our left hand on different beats of the measure. It's working a lot more on our left hand's touch, right? And our ability to go from playing a very soft ghost note to a much louder accent and putting those back to back and making them swing and feel good, right? So this focuses on a much more of the triplet aspect of playing swing time, right? So to play this, I'm going to simplify that jazz ostinato, that swung ostinato a little bit, and just play quarter notes on my ride cymbal. Same thing with, I'm going to keep my hi-hat the same, 2 and 4 up here, and feathered quarter notes down there. But I'm going to fill out each of those quarter notes, each of those beats, with the next 2 triplet notes on the snare drum, right? So I'm going to have 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, right? Now the way I just played it, it sounded like a crappy waltz, right? And that's not what we want. We want this to swing. So the second note of each triplet is going to be a little ghost note, and the third note of each triplet is going to be a crack accent, right? So I want that, if I'm just playing the hands, I want that to sound like this. Because that sounds a lot swingier than, right? Right. Now, we're going to try that at 100 BPM, and we're going to add in our bass drum and our hi-hat, just to make it feel more like we're playing swing. Here we go. Houghton Triplets. Exercise number 4 is Mel Lewis Triplets, baby. This is a little exercise I picked up from one of my jazz heroes, the great Mel Lewis, in some old archive footage from a drum clinic and master class that he did back in the mid-'80s, I think it was. And I put this as the 4th and final exercise because not only does this work the coordination of our left hand, but it also works the touch of our left hand, much like the previous exercise, and as a triple threat, it works on our overall swing feel. And the second reason I have this as number 4 is because, well, sweet swirling onion rings, this is a spicy one.
That's a spicy meatball!
That's right. So, with Mel Lewis Triplets, we're going to play our original swing ostinato, swing pattern on the ride cymbal, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, feathered quarter notes on the bass drum. And this time, I'm going to play the missing 2 notes of the triplet on beat 1 and 3 on the snare drum. I'm going to treat those like we treated the triplets in the previous exercise. So I'm going to have the second note of the triplet ghosted and the third note of the triplet accented, right? So beats 1 and 3 with my hands are going to sound like this, right? Triplet, not. Definitely don't make that face, right? You'll get fired from your gig. The correct way, one more time. Right? Triplet, triplet, ghosted second note, accented third note of the triplet, right? So that's beats 1 and 3 of this exercise. Beats 2 and 4, where we have the swung eighth notes on the hi-hat, on the ride cymbal, I'm going to play a ghosted snare note in between, or where the second note of the triplet would be, in between those swung eighth notes. So that's going to sound like this. Right? Triplet, right? I don't want to go, right? I don't want to smash that out of the park. I want it to be a nice little ghost note. Just let the stick fall, right? Triplet. And we're going to combine that together and get continuous triplets moving throughout the measure, hidden in our swing pattern. Guys, gals, this one's a lot tougher than it sounds. Are you ready? We're going to try it at 100 BPM once again. And like the other exercises, I encourage you, try it at a whole variety of different tempos. But here's Mel Lewis Triplets at 100 BPM. Let's do it. Sweet Alaskan asparagus tips, that one can make you sweat. But in doing so, your left hand's going to be a whole lot more coordinated. You're going to have a better touch, and your overall swing feel is going to line up and lock in better than it did before. Ladies, gentlemen, fellow drummers, I hope these 4 exercises are as helpful to you as they have been to me. I continue to go back to these all the time to improve my left hand, or maybe get warmed up if I haven't played something with a swing feel for a while. So I encourage you, put these in your toolbox and share them with your fellow drummers that you think might benefit from them as well. Folks, if you saw anything in this video that you liked or that meant anything to you, please consider hitting that like button down there. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, those two things don't cost you a cent. They don't take but a second to do, and they really help me out by telling YouTube that this content is meaningful. Additionally, if you'd like to support my efforts as a content creator and educator here on YouTube, information as to how you can do so can be found in the description of this video below. Don't feel obligated to do so, but your contributions would be very well appreciated. Thank you. Ladies, gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. There'll be some more fun, fresh content coming your way next week right here on ColeOnDrums. But in the meantime, go practice these. Go jam to some good music. Be kind to one another, and good. Bye. Okay, now we're going to do that at a right. Now we're going to do that at what? Right? Now we're going to do that at 100 BPM and add in our bass drum and our hi-hat, because that, don't know what that is. Turned into Salt Bay for a second there. Here, right? So let's try out some hootin' and hollerin'.